What are we should see movies here? Now, since this week, I've been doing movies for Kevin Smith movies because of Clerks 3 coming out next week. Here's my review of his 2004 film, Jersey Girl. Now, a shame this movie is actually one of those few films that gets more hate than his other films. I mean, Sally has like a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes, but this movie is much better than most people make it out to be. Like here you got Ben Affleck who plays Ollie Trank, who is this young and at the top of his game as a music promoter, and he works he works both as a workaholic and a silver tongue expert at this manipulating press here, and he meets this woman named Gertie Stanley, played by Jennifer Lopez, who yes, at the time they were, of course, before they got married and before they got back together, they were like one of the biggest couple at the time. Obviously, at the time they also did the movie Jilly like beforehand, which he had one of the worst movies of all time there. And but they decided to do another film together where like Jennifer Lopez's character literally dies in the beginning. So yeah. Anyway, and so like they begin to like find each other attractive and all, and there's and of course they do end up having a kid, and maybe I should have said a spoiler, but this movie's been out since 2004. But spoiler: Jennifer Lopez's character does die in this, and so like Ben Affleck has to pretty much go on and then raise his daughter who is also named Gertie all by himself and all. And Jersey Girl is really cute, charming film, in my opinion. Like the young actress Raquel Castro, who actually has grown up to be in some other stuff. Like she was in Empire not like a couple years ago. She was actually really good in this. Like she really played her part really well. Her on-screen chemistry with Ben Affleck, like you really buy them as father and daughter. And I thought Castro was terrific here. And you also have Liv Tyler who plays this graduate student at a college who works at a video store because it literally takes place in a video store. Which, oh boy, who remembers those times? Just browsing to the video store and pick up your movie. Oh boy, good times, good times. I mean, this movie is very nostalgia factor at like all the time because there's no streaming stuff that they talk about. They were literally just in a video store at times. So yeah, but anyway, and of course, Ali ends up really, falling for Maya here, but Maya's not really ready to be like a stepmom or anything like that. So there's that too. You do get the late great George Carlin, which this was actually his final on-screen appearance before his sudden passing. George Carlin's so awesome here. Kind of odd always seeing George Carlin play like someone who's not cursing throughout, because if you guys know who George Carlin is and you know some of his routine, this movie is, by the way, PG-13. It is actually Kevin Smith's first ever PG-13 movie he's ever done. And his first not to feature Jane Silent Bob, by the way. But having him literally cast George Carlin as the father to Ben Affleck was awesome casting. That was brilliant right there. And just having George Carlin just he curses a little bit, but mostly PG-13 type cursing. Uh, but he doesn't really drop any f bombs. Which if you guys know George Carlin, he will curse like he'll just drop f bombs all out. Like the guy, was famous for dropping f bombs in his comedy skits. And also you had Mike Starr also pop up with us, as well as Stephen Root, who are actually like Joe Collins' character's best friends. You even get cameos by Matt Damon and Will Smith of all people. So there's of course really a scene where like Will Smith has like a little cameo, and Ben Affleck is talking to him. Let's just say this right now, that was pretty much that was Deadshot and Batman together a lot. Oh, and another thing, I'm not saying that Kevin Smith is like a predictor or anything like that. Let's just say this movie also predicted Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm saying this right now. This movie, like, there's lots of films that ends up predicting other stuff that ends up happening. Like, remember in what you call I Am Legend, where there was like a billboard, a Batman vs Superman in the back. Then a few years later, we will get Batman versus Superman. You could add You could add Ben Affleck being cast as Batman from this film as another prediction because Ben Affleck's character Ollie literally calls his truck the Batmobile. So yeah, Kevin Smith knew something that we did at the time, I gotta say. Then of course others, scenes where he ends up saying, "I don't want to drive the Batmobile." I'm like, "Yeah, you're gonna be driving the Batmobile down the line, buddy." But anyway, you do also have Jason Lee also popping up. You even have like young Harley Quinn Smith, Jason Biggs even pops up here. This movie gets some reason. This movie always gets a bad rap. I still never understood why. I mean, it's not like Kevin Smith. Obviously he became a father at the time too, so he kind of want to do like a movie that really focuses on the relationship between father and daughter. Like Kevin Smith has, I tell you right now, he has a great relationship with Star. Of course, like his daughter, he ended up casting his daughter in a couple of stuff. Like obviously, his daughter, who by the way is named Harley Quinn Smith for all people. Like I mean, I love Kevin Smith, but you could tell he's a nerd if he named his daughter after a comic book character. But anyway, uh, yeah, of course, his daughter Harley Quinn Smith actually played and like on his on like Kevin Smith's Instagram, you can tell like how much he really appreciates his daughter and everything. Heck, he even cast his daughter on in an episode of the Flash episode that he directed. So yeah, he's really like big. He's a really big family man. So it makes sense why he decided to do something like this. That because this movie, of course, feels a little bit like a film of like and a relationship with his father and even his daughter. So yeah, I'm I'm not that at all, but this movie actually does really speak to the heart here, and the chemistry between Affleck and Castro I think is terrific. I still think they should do some sort of sequel or maybe like a spin-off series that features a grown-up Gary. That would be cool to see, but who knows if that will ever happen. But that sadly the movie did not do so well. It only made about 25.3 million at the box office. So yeah, hence why we never got to see a sequel. But that's if you guys have not seen Jersey Girl, I mean, I was with the whole like a streaming, totally see a series or maybe a sequel for a streaming thing. Yeah, but anywho, if you guys have never really seen Jersey Girl, it is like it's not as good as let's say James Strike Back, nothing like that. But it is a really cute, charming film if you guys haven't seen that. Anyway, let me lead you guys. Have you ever seen Jersey Girl? So, what show are we fan? Are we not a fan of it? Favorite scene, favorite moment? Where to rank in your picks for us? Kevin Smith films. Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Simon signing out.